What's going on, everybody? This is you here back to a brand new video. A little late to the party. It's 7 o'clock where I'm at, so I'll probably be uploading this in the next 30 minutes and it'll be published. I had planned to do this recording last night after the final games of Sweet 16, but I just went to sleep a little early anyways because I had 2 very busy days at work back to back, so I wanted to get some rest. And so I'm doing it now after getting home from work. And there are some elite games already going on, but we'll be covering the Sweet 16, so it's quite an accomplishment to get to this spot, I would say. Yeah, those first 2 rounds, very difficult thing to do, and we now see who will continue moving on. The first game we had Clemson and Arizona. Clemson continues our March Madness run. It's really funny that Clemson is going on the run that I suspected with New Mexico to run out. In fact, a lot of people thought that New Mexico would be a potential Final Four team, but it's actually the team they were playing that ended up doing it. And so they upset Arizona 77-72. As expected, Arizona just get knocked out. And kudos to Clemson for what a turnaround. And then we got UConn San Diego State. This game was not close. UConn wins by 30 in a rematch of last year's national championship. UConn has been absolutely dominant in March Madness, similar to what they were last year. In fact, every March Madness game they've played in the last 2 years has been by at least double digits. So big win for them. And Alabama knocks off number 1 North Carolina. Again, Alabama was not a team people predicted to be this far. People predicted that they were going to be one of the teams that are going to be out very early. And I said this about Alabama. Alabama is a great shooting team, great offensive team. If they get hot, they can beat anyone, and they have gotten hot, which I did not suspect them to do. So that definitely busted them out of bracket a bit, I suppose. So has Clemson, obviously. But North Carolina goes down. RJ Davis did not have the best game. Let's go ahead and look at the stats here. We have another game you can see going on right here. Try to avoid that for now. But let's look. Davis 0 of 9 from 3-point range, so did not have a very good night. Let's go to Clemson real quick because I want to this game. I want to see what Love did. He was also like, wow. So Caleb Love and Archer Davis, again, they were guards together with Carolina. Both went 0 of 9. That's yikes. Anyways, but North Carolina goes out. In fact, they are the highest seeded team in the ACC, and technically the best team in the ACC. But they, out of the 3 that are still in there, they are out. And we've got Illinois versus Iowa State. Now, got to watch this game. I got to watch North Carolina, Alabama because I was at work, so I can watch this game. I got to watch any of these 2 games. With North Carolina and Alabama, every time North Carolina would come up and try to get the score close and take the lead, Alabama would just go down and knock another bucket. They just were getting buckets left, right, and center. North Carolina could not get that crucial key last stop to put them in the lead. Illinois, Iowa State collapses late. It's only a 3-point game, but Iowa State just had so many mistakes and so many bad shots in the last minute or two that they just did not deserve to win. Illinois pulled it out, and I was very disappointed to see Iowa State go down. I really thought they would have been a great matchup for UConn. Obviously, if you can see, we'll discuss about that later. Let's go ahead and go to the day 2, which was yesterday. NC State and Marquette. NC State continues their Cinderella run, winning. I think they've won 8 games in a row now. Uh, Marquette goes down again. People thought this might be the year that Marquette makes a run for it, but it is cut short. Wow, they shot 4-31, 12% from 3, so they had a horrible shooting night. 60% from free throws. That is not good. Look at those missed free throws. That is the game right there. I mean, NC State didn't have a great free throw shooting night. Anyways, they only shot 12 compared to Marquette's 23, but still. And they got rebounded. Only had 9 turnovers. There was a video of Koltek, the main point guard for Marquette, the white guy, had ripped his jersey on the top. Frustrations, obviously, and high mix of emotions. Gonzaga and Purdue. This was a shock to me that they lost by such a large margin. Well, it's not a large margin, but I figured it would be last second. I honestly thought Gonzaga would win this game, and I really wanted them to win this game. Um, didn't shoot the best from three. Shot horribly from free throws, 4 or 7. Not a lot of free throws for both teams, but still got out rebounded. Obviously, I mean Zach Edey's in the game. Let's see. Wow, low turnovers for both teams. 6 and 9 is very impressive for turnovers. Very impressive. Zach Edey dominated again, obviously 27 points, 14 rebounds. The big key about Purdue, and I've said this before, is that their guard play is tremendously better in games past. Where if you look up Zach Edey, it's game over because their guards aren't good. And this year, their guards are a lot better and a lot more experienced, a lot more skilled, and it's proving that Purdue is a legitimate team. Uh, Nebhard was a player that transferred from Creighton. Was really shocked that he transferred from Creighton. A great point guard, great offensive runner, great passer. But Gonzaga goes down. But a great run for them that people weren't suspecting them to go on. Duke upsets Houston. And this was a bit of a sad game. Jamal Shead, Houston's point guard and one of the best players in March Madness, goes down early. He only played for 13 minutes. One of 5. But he went down with the injury. I believe it was in the legs. I never really saw them talk about the injury because I actually went to go get food and then get back until halftime. And then he really spoke about it. I haven't really seen any news articles about it yet. But he did go down. It was out for the rest of the game. So Houston was down a very important key because everything runs through him. And so without him, they were just not the same team. And even then, Blue Devils pulled away late. It actually was very impressive in the last second game. In last seconds, Houston goes for a shot, or Houston gets the ball, goes for a quick 2. Guy is on the left side, laying up with his right, and it just goes off. And then they end up getting the rebound because it goes. Well, they don't get the rebound, but it goes off the hands of let's go to Duke, Mitchell, and so it retains possession to Houston. Houston called a timeout and runs a play where they just give the ball to Sharp, and he just goes a couple dribble moves, pulls up a 3, which I think they should have run a play instead of just done one-on-one ball. I think that was a mistake by the coach that they should have done a play and try and get someone more open, maybe even a run to the rim and a foul potentially. But Houston loses. Only 25% from 3, 2 of 8. 50% from free throw range, not very good. So that was the game. Free throws were the game, obviously. If you bump that number up by 3, it's tied. because then if you put it at riskily, I think the best would be 14 out of 17. Give you three misses, and you win by 2. And Duke's not a good free throw shooting team either. They shot 66%. They out rebounded them. Duke had quite a bit, and I think in the very beginning of the game, they only had 3 made field goals and 6 turnovers, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then Chet goes down. I mean, again, Houston is the best defensive team in the nation, but Duke pulls away, and then Creighton goes down. This was sad to see. I really wanted Creighton to beat Tennessee and go to the Final Four, but Creighton goes down and gets number 2 Tennessee. Tennessee proving that they are indeed a legit team this year. They've been dogged on a lot in previous years that they are not a legitimate team because they do decent in March, but they haven't really made a deep run in March yet. And this is their deep run, and they'll be facing into that decent shooting night. I mean, 47. That's almost 50%. Both shot very well from free throw range. Decent turnover. Wow, Tennessee only turned over 4 times. That's very impressive. Alexander had 13. Ashworth had 16. Kalkbrenner had 14. Shireman had 25. And then the star, number 3, had 26 points. So he played very, very well and dominated. I didn't get to actually watch this game. It actually was after the Duke and Houston game, which I guess I just totally missed and didn't know it was going on. So I just totally missed it. So I feel unfortunate that I got to miss out on that. But tough loss for Creighton. So let's go ahead and go to the official bracket now. And let's ignore this game right there. Obviously, we know the outcome of that game. Again, as I've said, I could see it was a blowout. So I will say this a little bit. I really thought that Iowa State would be a much better matchup for UConn. I want to give them a lot of trouble. So UConn, Illinois is playing to go to the Final Four. Then we got Duke and NC State, 2 ACC teams. Very impressive. In fact, if we would have had North Carolina, that would be 3 ACC teams in the Elite 8. ACC is now 11. Before the Elite 8, ACC is now 11-2. There's no Big 12 teams left, and I think the SEC is 7-6. So again, here's the thing that happens. ACC used to be the best conference in basketball, like year in, year out. Even in March, they have the most historic conference in basketball, period. But more recently, we've seen the rise of the SEC and the Big 12. There's a lot of good teams in the Big 12 and SEC that have been really good teams the past 5 years. And the ACC has really gone down because there's a lot less SEC teams being ranked. Really, it's only Virginia, Duke, Clemson in the beginning of the year, North Carolina. But back in the day, there would be like 6 ACC teams ranked in the top 25 or more. But people have said that the ACC is now not as strong, but that's not the case at all because ACC always proves in March that they are the best conference of basketball still, and they are the best because they always perform very, very well in March. Like the last year, they also were the best team in March, and maybe even a year or 2 before that. So the ACC is the best conference of basketball, period. The SEC is a fraudulent basketball conference rather. And then Clemson and Alabama. This probably was not people did not probably expect this right here, Alabama and Clemson being here. And then Purdue and Tennessee. So 1-2, a 1-3, a 4-11, and a 4-6. So really the last true Cinderella team is, I mean, you can classify Clemson as a Cinderella team, but the last true Cinderella team is NC State. So not a lot of big giant upsets late. So obviously I would have predicted UConn to win this game regardless. Duke and NC State is a toss-up guy because NC State is playing out of their minds, but again, I'm a Duke fan, so I'm pulling for Duke to win here. For here, Purdue and Tennessee, I gotta go with Tennessee. Clemson and Alabama, I'm gonna go with Clemson again for the ACC. To have 2 ACC teams in the Final Four, which would be really cool. But that is the Sweet 16. Again, leave a like down below on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content, and always comment down below how your bracket is doing. Actually, cool thing about that, I am in a tournament with some friends at work, and I'm not sure if we're gonna do money or maybe go out and have some fun, and whoever wins gets free drinks all night. But regardless, in that one I am not doing too well. I think I'm at about 52% correct. But I did have one bracket where I style it to where it's ACC bracket, where I pick all the ACC teams to win as far as they can go, and that bracket is at 88% correct, almost 90% correct. So should have pulled with that bracket. I think in the future I will always go for ACC dominance in March Madness. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Tomorrow on Sunday, actually no, there are going to be 2 games tonight and 2 games tomorrow. So on Monday, you will see the Elite 8 game, and then on the Final Four, I'll combine it with the Final Four and the championship game. But anyways, you guys have a great night, and stay frosty.